Hey, thanks for joining me for my very first video. This is Forest Frontiers, which I'm going to play from start to the end of the scenario. So on Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic, I'm playing it on the iPad. So the objective of this very first scenario is to have 250 guests in the park by the end of year one with a park rating of at least 600. So let's take a look at what we've got here. This is the first time I'm playing Rollercoaster Tycoon in a long time. Used to play it way back in the day. Played it lots and lots, completed all the scenarios many times, but I'm going back to it now for the first time in a long time, so this might take me a little bit of refreshing. But first scenario, nice big clear space. You can see all the sort of ups and downs and undulation. The terrain is all outside of the park boundaries. I've got a few trees there around the place which I can always work around or remove if I need to, but this is obviously the first scenario. I've turned the tutorial part off, but for many people I'm sure they would play it. It probably means it's going to be quite a straightforward scenario to complete. So I start with £10,000 there, which is all our loan. And let me just see what the maximum loan I can get is. So I could take up to £30,000. So I've basically got £30,000 to start putting rides around the place. So I'm just going to reduce that loan value down a little bit just to make sure that I'm not getting big interest charges right now. And because we've only got a year, I'm going to get my research up to maximum funding. It's going to cost me a little bit more, but we have only got a year, which in Rollercoaster Tycoon time is to the end of October, so 7 months. It's not long. At least with maximum funding, I'm going to get one ride pop through every month. Let's see what rides we've currently got. So we've got the monorail, but I'm not sure I'm going to build a transport ride at this stage of the game in this scenario. I've got a couple of gentle rides there. They never seem that popular. Just the 2 roller coasters. Just the 2 thrill rides as well. Only the rowing boats on the water rides, and I'd have to actually build a lake in there as well to get the rowing boats. And a couple of food and beverage stands and the toilets, which we will need. So let's see, back on my research funding, which I seem to have got stuck down there. There we go. I don't want transport, don't need any more gentle, but let's leave those other 3 options on and see what it comes up with for us. So let's start placing some rides. I'm going to get a roller coaster in early. I'm going to go for the junior roller coaster just to get things going. I'm going to build one of the template designs, one of the ones that's already built for us. So there's the chocolate log, it's got good stats. The crazy caterpillar, even better statistics, although a higher nausea rating and much more expensive, especially with the scenery. Mango Muncher compared to Chocolate Log, a little bit cheaper, and I think just for that reason I'm going to go for it. If I take out the scenery, I'm going to save myself a little bit of money as well, so I'm actually going to do that, take out the scenery, which will just mean I have to build my own path, which I'm going to place the roller coaster right there in the corner just to maximise my space. Not that I'm too worried about space in this part because there's plenty of space and also not a lot of time to complete the scenario, so I'm going to build that in there now. I have, by the way, got the game, well, the park is closed, I should say, so there are a few people getting turned away, but there's nothing for them to do right now. So one thing I'm going to have a problem with here, actually, I think is getting that exit path down. It's going to end up being quite a long path, so I'm just going to quickly close the station. I'm going to rebuild that exit there so they can come out that side, and then if I build the path I'm going to be able to get it around much better, I think. So let's just, I didn't mean to delete that, bring that down there we go. So I just took a hedge out of the way there, but needs must. I don't want too long a path there for people getting off the ride to get them to rejoin the park. And there we go, let's do a reasonably sized queue there, just to make sure people can get on the ride. I'm pretty sure this is going to come with a couple of different trains. Yeah, 9 cars per train with 2 trains, so I'm going to be able to get people around and through the queue pretty quickly. 10-minute on the inspection time, make sure we have as few breakdowns as possible. And money, let's see, is this a park? It's a free entry park, which means I'm charging for the ride. So I can't really remember how the pricing structure works in Rollercoaster Tycoon, so for now I'm going to sort of match it with the excitement level and what I'd be prepared to pay if this ride was in a theme park near me. So just on those settings, let's get the chain lift speed pretty high, because what's the point of slowing down the ride on those chain lists. You get it completely quicker, get people off, which means getting more people on and more money through. I'll wait for the full load, but not for too long. We don't want people chilling at the station doing nothing. So we'll have a 30 seconds on that. I'm not going to start that testing yet because, as I recall it, I'll start incurring the ride running costs as soon as I start testing, but the park isn't even open yet. So I'm going to get a couple more rides in place. I'm going to go quick and easy. Let's get the twist in and the pirate ship in. Again, both pretty close to the entrance. Let people be able to watch the ride, get on a ride pretty soon after they enter the park. I'm going to build... It's always best to build the queue paths first, because if you don't, sometimes the exit path... the queue, so if the exit path was there, the queue might... I'll show you what I mean. It's probably not going to do it now, is it? But the queue... Oh, it worked. It sometimes likes to point itself the other way towards the exit, but not on this occasion. So let's get that entrance right up to the path. Oh, let's actually get it as an exit path. There we go. And we can continue that main pathway up here, because I'm going to add another couple of rides. I've actually really badly wasted some space in the corner there. Where that tree is could be the path going around there, not taking that big chunk up. But to be honest, as I said, it's a quick scenario and I'm not worried about the space, particularly with this. Pirate ship, let's get the entrance this side, and the exit can just be a short path on the other. We don't need a big exit there. And I'll worry about my ride settings in a moment, but I've managed to not actually place the exit there, which was pretty daft of me. So let's get the exit in place. The queue, I don't think we're going to need a big queue for this. Let's get it back alongside the queue for the twist, and then let's just bring it one more that way so it's not right next to the entry for the twist. And there we have a short exit path. Let's see, that's both the thrill rides. I'll get another roller coaster in a minute, but let's do a merry-go-round, a nice gentle ride for our guests, and that can come in on this side as well, because I could then use this area for another roller coaster. So I'm going to set it back one there. Let's get the entrance on this side, and to be fair, the exit can go pretty close to that pirate ship exit. One thing I've never been great at in Rollercoaster Tycoon is decorating some of the rides and making it too realistic, and maybe I'll try and do a bit more of that this go around of playing the game. But for now, I don't think we particularly need that. I'm just worried about completing the scenario. So I know I've got 4,000 on the current loan still there, but I know I can extend that loan as well. So I'm going to do as I did with Mango Muncher, just to get the park open and to get customers coming through. I'm going to build one of the pre-built rides. That's got a pretty high intensity rating. Great White Wall looks great. It's quite expensive, but high ratings. I've not opened the park. I don't yet know what these guests like. Do they want a big fast ride, or do they prefer the more gentle style? So I'm going to go a little bit more conservative on this, and to be fair, Microphobia there, it's a good price, and to be honest, for the £500 I'm going to include the scenery, partly because I get the ride entrance and exit path built. I don't need to worry about that. Good stats, a low nausea rating, so I'm going to go with Microphobia, so I'll need 6,500. That'll be enough extra on the loan then. Alright, and let's see where this best sits. Now I can see that exit path is here. Oh, so that's going to actually build pretty perfectly close to my original path. So I can extend my main pathway there, and I don't need to go any further because that's my theme park for now. So I'm going to get Mango Muncher testing. I've already messed with all the settings on Mango Muncher, so I don't need to worry about that. I'll get Twist testing. We've got the music there. Oh, I can't actually hear the music. Sound of music is on, but I'm not hearing it. That's interesting. I was hearing it on the load screen earlier. I'm messing with my sound and I'm still not hearing it, but you're going to hear it, because what I'll do is just overlay some Rollercoaster Tycoon music onto this video, because otherwise it's not going to be the best with just me talking. But that is strange, why I'm not hearing the music. I'll have to have a look in the game settings at some point to figure out why that is. Why am I not hearing it? It could be actually because I'm screen recording, so maybe actually when I listen to it back, I will hear the music. Right, pirate ship. Let's get an inspection a little bit quicker. Let's get these rides testing so I can at least see their statistics. Just want one circuit. Can I get a second train? Yeah, I'll get a second train. That'll get a few more customers on the ride a little bit quicker. The highest lift hill change speed we can, and then let's wait for the full load and get a short maximum waiting time. Music playing, inspection every 30 minutes. Let's get that testing so I can see the stats. But it's a bigger roller coaster than the Mango Muncher Junior coaster I already built. So for Microphobia, the wooden coaster, I'm going to go at £6 to start off with. Now, I should really modify the track to get a on-ride photo section in there, but it's quite a twisty, turny track. There's not any natural space for that, so I'm going to avoid doing that for now. Oh, it's just starting to rain at the park, but let's get the park open. Make sure we get 10-minute inspections on the twist. I'm going to need a mechanic. I'll buy him in a minute, so I'm going to take £2 on that. I'm going to do the same for the pirate ship. Get some music on there. Inspections already coming every 10 minutes, and just making sure, like I did this on Twisted Eye, that I'm happy with my settings. I want to wait for a full load, but not have those waiting too long if a full load doesn't turn up. So I'm knocking that down to 30 seconds. And then the same apply to the merry-go-round. I don't want customers waiting too long on the ride once they've boarded before it heads off. And if there's not that big a queue, it's not a big deal anyway. And let's set £1.50 as the admission price for the merry-go-round. Right, I'm going to need some staff. So they're up here. So let's hire a handyman. And let's actually make sure I've opened all my rides. There we go, all open now. And I'm going to hire a mechanic as well, and he's going to have some inspecting to do already, I would suspect. Right, there we go. The park is open. Oh, we've got a log flume available to us as well now. Perfect, it's raining. Just what we want, a water ride. And you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to build the splash mine. It's already there. It's got great stats. It's not too expensive. Certainly I can afford that with the loan amount that I'm allowed. And it's going to save a bunch of time, because if I spend time building the ride myself, that's going to take a little bit of time out of the game, although I would like to build a ride in a moment. So maybe I'll get another ride in place and then do some building work myself. So I could actually just squeeze, although it's going to be elevated, which always looks a bit strange to me. Having elevated bits of, see the fencing around the side there, just elevated with no structure or stand there, it always looks weird to me. I'm not sure I want to do that. I don't need to. Let's be honest, we've got a pretty big park space. I wish actually I'd put Microphobia more this side, more towards the exit of the park along here, and this space between it was used by the coaster, because then Splash, what was it called? Splash Mine could have fitted over here, but it's not going to, but that's okay. Let's extend the park space. There we go. That's kind of, oh, I could set it really back there. That looks like an almost perfect space for it. It really is. Well, I'm going to build it there then and extend my park. Let's get it testing. We're going to have a lot of boats on this, aren't we? Log flumes always do. 23 boats, so we don't need them to wait for too long. We can get them waiting. Wait for that full load, but leave if another boat arrives, and a maximum wait of 10 seconds. Hopefully should mean that there's kind of always a boat at the station waiting to pick up more guests. So these are good stats, didn't it? So let's go £4 on the admission price, and we'll see. Oh, actually, I'm going to do what I said I would do for Microphobia. Let's find there's a nice drop there, and there's a nice drop here. Let's drop in the on-ride photo section. There we go. Now we can test it, and let's set that price at £3.50, and same across the park. So whenever I put a photo section in place again, guests are going to be paying the same price whatever ride they're on. Now I'm going to need to connect it over. It's going to be quite a walk for them, so I'm going to need to put some extra rides in the way here. I'm going to lose a little bit of scenery there, but get them walking under Microphobia, get a nice view of that, and then we can come along to connect to this bit of paving here. Now I'm going to need to put some extra rides on there. I don't have too many right now, But let's get some seats and some trash cans in place around the park. There's a few already that were built at the start of the scenario on that very small piece of paving that we already had when we began. So I'm just going to dot a few around just so that people can take a break, especially if the rides make them feel a little bit nauseous. And I'm sure at some point soon I'm going to need to put some food stands in. Trash cans I always like to place on these sort of slanted paths because, well, you can't put a park bench there and people don't stand there to watch rides either. So it's always quite a good place to put them, I find, because there's not a lot else you can put there anyway apart from path scenery. So let's just make sure we get a couple more in just to make sure that there are enough trash cans around the place for when I do start opening up some food and drink outlets. Okay, so there we go. Let's see what the... Actually, I still need to... Tell you what, this is terrible of me. I keep forgetting to actually open the rides. We've not got a completed circuit just yet, but I guess they're heading their way over there now, I guess, to see what's going on, take a look at the new ride. Let's see what they're thinking. Let's see what's going on. Oh, got a little bit of nausea. Pirate ship's good value. That is basically my sign to increase the price slightly. Let's go up by 30 pence. Of course, I'm playing it in English currency. You may be playing it in whatever your local currency is. But I'm in English pounds. Mango Munch is too intense for them. That's interesting. I'm glad I didn't go for the really intense wooden roller coasters. Okay, well that's good to know. I guess now partly it's a bit of a waiting game. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase the park speed. As the money hits 1,000, I always pay back a little bit of the loan just to save on the interest rates. Although they've got me there and taken the interest before I could repay 1,000, so there we go, there's 1,000 back. So my research has given me an information kiosk. Now that's going to be important. Let's build the info kiosk near the front of the station. Sorry, let's build the info kiosk near the front of the park. Oh, I've not quite got enough money because I just paid that bit of loan back. Now I'm going to need that money again. Thank you, Mr. Banker. Let's open that and then park map. Let's try 80 pence. See what people think of it, and £3.50 on the umbrella. I'll get some feedback on that from the guests. Well, they said it was good value, but that might have been before I put the price up just then. There's not any more coming through. Just saw it along here. We're selling some more umbrellas, park maps. Nobody's really having an opinion on that, so I've probably got the price about right. So I'm conscious of these areas here needing a little bit more going on. And we've got a big space on this side of the path as well, where maybe if we get another roller coaster through the research, I'll have a go at building a ride. Let's for now, I'm going to leave it. I'm not feeling any of those rides, so I'm going to play the game along in a quicker speed. Because I'm already at the 250, just about. We're only in May. We're at 250 guests, so we're doing pretty well. On that count, the park rating is high enough. It's at 849. Pay a bit of loan back there. So really now I don't need to do anything more, but look at that, I've got a looping roller coaster. So this time I'm going to build a custom design. Just have a play and get myself back with building the custom design. So I think I'm going to start it. I don't want to worry too much about the other rides, so I'm going to start it over here. And I always like to do a long platform because, well, basically you get as many cars as possible, which means as many people as possible. When you're paying for your ride, as you are in this case, more people on it means more revenue rather than a park entry fee where it doesn't matter how many people are on the ride. So straight away into a chain hill lift, and I'm going to run out of parkland there, so let's do a quick turn. Let's get it a little bit higher. We started at -1 height, so let's get it up to 11. That should get us some pretty good speed. I always like to start with the lift and then get into the drops. I know, like you see on the custom coaster, the pre-designed coasters, sometimes they start a little higher, get straight into a dip. In the case of Mango Muncher, it actually starts high, climbs further, and then drops. But I like to just have it one big lift at the start and then drop. I'm going to turn it back around because I don't want to go too far out. I want to use the land around the station. I'm not going to have enough land quite to get it to do a steep drop there, so I'm just going to level it off already, and another quick drop. Let's get the on-ride photo section there, not the booster track, and then a quick drop again. And then let's curve it around this way, past the station. That's going to mean I'm going to have to put the entrance and exit on the other side of the station, so I'll be cautious of that when I come back around. As we come around the bend, let's level the track off and get ourselves into a vertical loop. And we'll bring that vertical loop around near the station. I think the excitement rating is always a bit higher when the sort of track interweaves itself or comes close to itself. So hopefully that's what I can achieve here. And then that is just tall enough to get over the station, which is cool. What I want to do here, I'm going to do a really wide loop, because hopefully, if I get the calculation right, that's going to bring me back through. I might need to go, no, I've come into the vertical loop, so I actually need to take a slightly tighter turn for the second turn. And that's going to bring me right through that vertical loop. And then we can come out the other side, drop down again. And that's going to be pretty cool on my statistics, I think, for the ride. Now, I don't want to get too close to the exit just yet. So maybe actually, if I back up, the best option is to go this way. I'm going to hit the side of the park again there. But if I just bend the track around, come out this way. There we go. We can start having a bit of fun around here. Need a bit more money. Oh, I don't want to spend too much on this ride or I'll run out of money. But I've still got about £7,000 to play with. So let's get a helix up. I'm going to run out of parkland there, so let's just keep that straight track going a little bit more. In fact, let's bring it up just so it's got a little bit of something going on. And then we can take a large helix up. And then, now am I at the right, I think I'm at the wrong height to go across the track in front of the track that's already built, so I'm going to have to go down and under it. Not a problem. Let's take it down that way. Let's do a helix down, actually. And now I want to think about bringing it back, I suppose, towards the station. So I'm going to need to get it up and over the path we've already got. And then, yeah, that's going to be about the right size for bringing it back into the station in a moment. So let's get a bit more money going on. We can go up a little bit. I've got a +4 there, so I can get to +2. And then I'm just going to drop it over the pavement there. And you can see a few people watching me constructing this ride. So let's bring it back down to ground level, back up again. Then it can come, oh, it's going to need a tight turn there to make the station. But hopefully it's not too fast at this point. And we just drop it back down to reach the station. So entrance and exit, I always want to get close to the front because you're just wasting time as players get on and off the ride by having the entrance too far away from where the car's going to stop. So we'll get those going on there. And now let's test it. Let's just get the chain lift speed up, and I'll worry about the other statistics in a minute. Let's follow this track. Let's make sure, first of all, it's not going to crash. I'll pay back some money while I can. You'll see my on-ride photo price is still at £3.50 because I set that earlier on the splash mine, on the log flume. So let's see, we're going to get some speed up now. Let's see what this ride's going to do for me. So 44 miles an hour, that's going to be enough to get it around the loop, which is important. And that's as high as we go again, and we're still traveling at 27 miles an hour, so it's not too quick, which is probably a good thing because in this park they don't really like the nausea rating too much. They seem to be feeling quite sick quite quickly. So it's going at a fairly steady speed, to be honest. Back around that's going to make that turn not too severe because it's quite a tight corner there. And back in the station, I kind of hope that's exciting enough. There's a lot of track close to each other and interweaving each other, which is going to help with my excitement rating. Let's see what statistics we get on those ratings. I'm worried it might be a little bit on the tame side. But actually that's quite good. It's a low nausea rating, high on the excitement. Reasonably intense, but hopefully not too intense for the guests. So let's get that price in line with the wooden roller coaster we already built, which was £6. And we can think about getting the ride open. So let's get the queue going underneath the piece of track and then back down alongside it. It's not a really busy park, is it? We're only going to be here for another couple of months of the game, so I don't need a really long queue. just enough to get people on the ride itself, and we can get that opened up. Now, while I've been doing that work, let's see what the rest of the park is doing. I can see the paths aren't looking in great condition. I'm just going to hide everything so I can really see what's going on with those paths. And I've only got one handyman for the whole park, so that's not a good sign. So I'm going to hire another handyman just to work this specific area around microphobia, where they're obviously coming off not feeling too great. I usually give them, I think, 10 squares usually covers it, especially if there's not a lot of paving in that area. Let's get another handyman then to look after this area of the park. So I'm guessing people are going to be coming off feeling a little bit rough after the looping roller coaster as well. And then handyman 1. Oh, I do not want to demolish the pirate ship. I just want to move the handyman 1 to the front of the park, and I'll make this his little section. Got some exits there. There we go. Handyman 1's got a little bit of work to do once he gets up near that mango muncher exit. Right, so let's, if I remember, if I go into senior, if I just pretend to build something and cancel it, there we go, it resets the settings without me having to do that manually. So let me just pop back onto the looping roller coaster settings and make sure we're getting enough inspections. We've got a bit of music going on there. I'm not going to rename it, I'm not going to change the colours, but we want to leave if another train arrives at the station, and get that down to a 30-second maximum waiting time. Pay back some more loan. And to be honest, I'm quite content now. I've kind of done enough to pass the scenario, but let's see what the guests are thinking. They're feeling sick, and the pirate ship is still good value, so great, £2.50 for that. Thank you very much. I'll remember that for future scenarios as well. The path is disgusting, yeah, we're working on that, and the twist is good value, so let's get that up to £2.20. The music here is nice, great. And they've already got an on-ride photo. Good people are purchasing them. That means that they're enjoying the ride. So let's see what the guests are actually up to. They're walking. Oh, they're on Splash Mine, so that's been popular. All are on my new looping coaster site. I'm glad they're enjoying that. Mango Muncher and Microfiber, also popular. So I'm just going to get the game now playing in QuickTime. Push myself towards the end of October just to get it completed. We've got another roller coaster type there, but to be honest, I've got 4 roller coasters in place already. It's quite a small park, so really what I want to do now is maybe place a couple more thrill rides if I can get a couple of those coming from the research, but just keep an eye on the guest needs and take it through to October. I'm guessing pretty soon they're going to start wanting a bite to eat, maybe something to drink, maybe to use the toilet. But so far I'm not really seeing that coming through in the guest feedback, so I'm not going to go ahead and build those buildings just yet because they're just going to lose money. Although I did see somebody there saying that they were hungry. There's 4 of them feeling hungry. They must be my early guests to the park, but that means more are going to start to feel hungry soon because the park filled quite quickly once we opened it. So I'm going to get on this bit of path here connecting the front and the back of the park. Let's get a burger bar. It needs £300. That won't take me long. There we go. And I can open the burger bar, and I'm going to set it at, let's try £1.80 for the burger. Now, when they've bought their burger, they're going to want somewhere to sit, so make sure around the food stands I've got plenty of places for them to sit, and a couple of trash cans as well for once they finish with their burger and they've got their burger wrapper to dispose of. There we go. Let's see then. We've sold 2 burgers already. Oh, one guy thinks it's good value, so he's made it more expensive for everybody else. Let's see if that feedback keeps coming in. Not getting many sales right now. So what is going to be popular is my umbrellas from that information kiosk, and you can see that everybody is using one in the rain. Let's pay back a bit more loan, keep those interest payments down. Not that it really matters because I'm not going to get to a point at this park where I need lots of money for lots of big rides because I've kind of almost finished the scenario now. I'm just waiting for October to come around. Now I think, and I might be wrong on this because I've never tried it, but I think if you play Open Rollercoaster Tycoon, I think when you hit your 600 guests, you've just finished the scenario already. But on the traditional one, you have to wait for that time frame. It's not get to it before the end of October. It's at the end of October. So whatever your statistics are on October 31st is going to judge if you pass or fail the scenario. We've got a pizza stand to build as well now, but I'm quite happy with the burger bar. I don't need lots of food stands. It's not a big park either, so people will be happy to make their way to the burger stand, I think, and purchase it from there. Let me keep an eye on the guest needs and what their thoughts are. They're running out of money. Well, I haven't got an ATM that I can build, so when they're running out of their money, they're just going to leave the park and be replaced by somebody else, so I'm not too worried about that. Toilet needs are coming up. We had a few people needing to use the bathroom there, so I'm going to build a restroom again. Let's pop it in the middle of the park. Let's pop it there. No one's watching anything right there. And I'm going to charge 10 pence for that, just to cover my running costs of the ride, because I want to make sure, or rather of the toilet, I don't want it to lose me money. So I'm just looking for it to cover its own costs, really. And you can see that looping roller coaster is the one that's making me the most money. So if this was a longer scenario than it actually is, then I would be getting my money back pretty quickly on that investment, on that build. But as it happens, I'm just going to rush through now to the end of October to complete this scenario. But it's given me a good idea of what comes in on the scenario. If you've not completed it yet, if you're struggling on the guest, you can always do a marketing campaign. You can always build a couple of extra rides. There's plenty of money in the loan resources there. There's quite a few roller coasters coming through, so if you're playing this and you want a variety of different rides, which with hindsight I might have liked, maybe after the looping coaster had come through on the research and development, I could have unticked the roller coaster box just to get a couple of thrill rides or gentle rides in there, some, the smaller rides which people enjoy, because I do already have 4 roller coasters out of a total of 8 rides I've got in place. I'm saying I've got 4 roller coasters. I've absolutely not. I've got 3. One of them is a log flume. That is most definitely not a roller coaster. Actually, the way this is going, I might have paid back all of the loan by the time the end of October comes around, which would be pretty cool, because I would have spent most of that. I think I probably spent near enough 30,000 on building the rides. So to pay that all back in the first year is great, and if it was a longer scenario, would show that I'll have plenty of money to spend to build more rides. I'm going to quickly build a balloon stand, because one of the cool things I like on Rollercoaster Tycoon, just pop that in there, I'm not going to put another ride in. I always look to try and get pounds profit from souvenir stands, if not more. But what I remember is really cool about Rollercoaster Tycoon, if you pass the scenario, which I'm about to, everyone stands and applauds you, but if they've got a balloon, it means they let go of it, and there we go. You see the balloons, and if you've had the balloon stand open for a while, you get a nice sea of balloons rising to the air. But actually, I've only had that open for a couple of days, so not many people have bought a balloon yet, but you can see the effect. And there you go, I've passed the objective, company value of 136,000. If I was really trying to get a higher company value, I could have bought more rides, which would have brought more profit in that time, but it was a short scenario. And it's now complete. So that's the first one. Forest Frontiers is done. Nice, quick, easy, simple. I doubt anybody's really going to need too many tips on how to complete this park, but that's how I did it.